All right, Friday, August 5th, early afternoon. I'm Tom Novak. Hey, thanks for joining me. We're going to do a little bit of a discussion on heavy rain. I like to consider this like Weather 101 here, the anatomy of a heavy rainfall event. And we're going to talk about what is the ideal setup for it, and I think we're going to have that this weekend. So here we go. This is the visible satellite loop now as we get into early this afternoon. And here comes at least the beginning. This is the genesis now of what's going to be a heavy rainfall event for almost the whole state of Minnesota, especially southern Minnesota, I think, and then a good chunk of northern and central Wisconsin. But storms are already starting to fire up here in eastern North Dakota, northwestern Minnesota. And this area right here, as we get into later this afternoon, especially evening and overnight, this area is going to experience some real heavy thunderstorms and heavy rainfall here. That would be eastern and southeastern North Dakota and portions of northwestern Minnesota. And then eventually those storms are going to sag further south and east with a front, and I'm going to show you that here in just a little bit, a front that's going to stall over southern Minnesota. Again, this is the anatomy of a heavy rainfall event. All right, moisture channel loop, water vapor imagery. We've zoomed out now, and you can clearly see a pretty fast moving west to east or southwest to northeast flow in the atmosphere, and that's bringing already Pacific moisture east into North and South Dakota and northwestern Minnesota. And what we're going to be waiting for here, and this is going to happen tomorrow and Sunday, is a return of the Gulf moisture into southern Minnesota, which is another ingredient for the heavy rainfall here in southern Minnesota. And right now, the Gulf of Mexico is closed for business, but as we get into tomorrow and Sunday, it's going to open for business. And as that moisture slams into that front, that stalled front over southern Minnesota and western Wisconsin, it's going to create lots of rain. All right, here's probably the most important ingredient for a significant heavy rainfall event. Now, if this was the winter, we'd be talking about 1 to 2 feet of snow over this section of southern and central Minnesota and western Wisconsin. But since it's summer, this is going to be in the form of rain. And this is, of course, the steering winds in the atmosphere. We call it the jet stream. The river of air at 30 to 35,000 feet. And look at this jet streak, which is stronger winds embedded within a jet stream. Look at how strong this jet streak is over western Ontario, just north of the Minnesota Canadian international border. Now, what's important is that this jet streak right here is what's going to provide lift over Minnesota and Wisconsin, because we are going to be in the right rear quad and on the southern edge of that impressive jet streak over southern Canada. That is a great area for lift. And here's another one of the problems that we have, and this is why the potential is there for heavy rain. This jet streak doesn't move much. So let me just rewind this for you. Again, this is really important. Here's Friday night, tonight, late tonight. Look at where the jet stream and jet streak is located. It's right over southern Manitoba and extending east into Ontario. As we go into tomorrow, this is tomorrow night now, that jet streak moves very little. The orientation is almost the same. So that tells me that we are going to have tremendous lift and training thunderstorms that are going to develop over each other in the same area for probably at least 24 to 36 hours. It's not until we get into Sunday afternoon and evening that that jet streak finally moves off to the east and we clear things out. You can see it right here. We scour things out here as we get into late Sunday and Sunday night. So between late tonight and Sunday evening, that's going to be about a 36-hour period at least for the potential for significant thunderstorms. Here's another good ingredient. We've got energy. Lots of heat. These are the expected afternoon temperatures now over the upper Midwest. 90s, low 90s in the Twin Cities and upper 80s in southeastern Minnesota, western Wisconsin. Look at South Dakota. This is kind of a broken record, but temperatures well above 100 degrees in South Dakota. Now, watch what happens as we go through time. I'm going to put this to tomorrow. This is tomorrow afternoon. Look at the temperatures. Look at how they have crashed over South Dakota. They are in the hundreds today in South Dakota, and they'll be lucky to make it to 70 degrees tomorrow over much of South Dakota. Can you tell that there's a front that's going to be located right about here, right across the Twin Cities metro, basically from Mankato to the Twin Cities to about Wausau, Wisconsin, and Hayward, Wisconsin. That is where a very strong front is going to be located, and that front is not going to move much during the day tomorrow. So we can expect training of showers and thunderstorms. Again, these are storms that develop on top of each other and don't move very fast. That's likely going to be the consequences for this significant temperature deviation from north to south across Minnesota, the Dakotas, and then into Iowa. Temperatures in the hundreds over eastern Nebraska and western Iowa, with only 50s up in North Dakota. So there you go. There's another ingredient for thunderstorms. Lots of them. All right, let's look at the satellite. This is the future satellite loop now from the NAM computer model guidance. Now keep in mind, as we go through the day tomorrow and into Sunday, there's going to be a front located right here. So let's put this in motion. Here are the storms that develop later this evening over northwestern Minnesota, southeastern North Dakota, and then they start to push ever so slowly to the east and south. That's tonight. More thunderstorms develop again tomorrow. This is tomorrow at about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. More thunderstorms redevelop over southern Minnesota now and western Wisconsin. Then we get into tomorrow evening, another round of storms, and these could be severe over southeastern Minnesota, much of southern Minnesota and western Wisconsin. And then again, more thunderstorm development as we get into Sunday. Let's just rewind that. Here's Sunday morning, just a massive thunderstorm complex likely located over the southern half of Minnesota, western Wisconsin, and northern Iowa as we get into early Sunday morning. And we finally start to clear things out as we go through the late afternoon and evening hours on Sunday. By then, check out what the NAM computer model guidance is showing for potential rainfall. Now, this is over, a 72-hour period now, or at least a 60-hour period. Look at all this rain that the NAM guidance is producing over southern portions of central Minnesota, northern Iowa, and a good chunk of Wisconsin. We're talking about totals in excess of 5 inches, in excess of 6 inches in some locations. Yes, this computer guidance may be blowing things out of proportion a little bit, but what the story here is that with a front located right in this area here for about a 24 to 48 hour period, there's no doubt in my mind that eye-popping rainfall totals, they're going to be localized, but eye-popping rainfall totals are going to eventually fall somewhere in this area as we go through the weekend. That is why I sent this map out to you yesterday. That is why I've got much of southern Minnesota and a good chunk of northern Wisconsin and central Wisconsin in an area that could get some rainfall totals that, again, will be eye-popping out of this storm system as thunderstorms train on top of each other. Meanwhile, there is the potential for some severe weather. This would mostly be during the afternoon and evening hours tomorrow now, and I'm most concerned about the I-90 corridor in southern Minnesota, which would be located right about here. That would include Rochester, Elbert, Lee, Austin, Minnesota, on east to La Crosse, Wisconsin, Winona, Minnesota. All these areas, I think, have the potential for severe weather because they'll be located near or south of this powerful warm front that is going to be nearly stationary throughout the period. So a lot going on here over the next 36 to 48 hours. One last thing, I figured I'd show you this extended forecast. Look at the temperature on Sunday. We'll probably make it to 70, but I don't think we're going to get much above 70 over much of southern Minnesota as we go through the day on Sunday. So temperatures do crash here over the next 48 hours, but then we start a nice warm up again next week, and it's going to be dry much of next week. So we desperately need this rain here over the weekend, and I think most of us, if not all of us, are going to get some, and some of us are going to get too much. All right, there you go. That's the anatomy of a heavy rainfall event. I hope you guys learned something from it. Thanks for following me. Thanks for watching this video. Take care. Have a great weekend.